SandaraHettiarachchi, and this is my video demonstration for the coursework of client-server architecture. First, I'm gonna show you the project structure, which I have added packages exception, and it contains classes for error handling. Next, I have the package of model, which contains the entity classes. Next, I have the package of resources, where the resource classes contain. And finally, I have the data store class, which stores data and assign IDs separately. Also, I have used static data to test my functionalities in Postman correctly. Next, we are going to start the project. This is how the web interface is shown in the web application. Next, we'll head over to Postman. So I have folders separated to each functionality. So let's head over to add book functionality first. So we'll add our first book, which contains author ID, title, ISBN, publication year, price and stock quantity. And you can see our book is posted. Now let's remove our title and our ISBN and see how the error handling is done accurately. So you can see there's error message, name, title and ISBN is required. So when we include when we also post the same product of books at the same time, it will show an error message saying the book with ISBN, the relevant ID is already exists, so you can't post a book twice. Next, we'll use a negative value for the price. And it says the price and stock quantity cannot be negative, so therefore it should be a positive value. Now let's get the books, which is inside our bookstore API. So these are the static data which is used for my ease of testing, and this is the product we have added recently as ID number 3. Now let's get our book by ID number 3, and our book is shown relevantly. And now let's get another book, and it is also shown separately. Now let's get a book which is not in our book store API. So it says the book with ID 200 is not found. So that's the error handling working of book not found exception. Also, let's update our book. Let's update our ID 3, and it's updated, and now we get the same book which we updated, ID number 3, and it is shown separately, the updated books. So you can see the update book functionality is working accurately. Now let's delete the book we just posted. And it's deleted. Now let's get the books and see if the book is deleted. And only ID 1 and ID 2 is showing, and the book of ID 3 is deleted. Also, when we included an ID of a book which is not present in the bookstore, it's giving an error message, the book is not found. So let's head over to the author resource package, and let's add an author. So we have added an author now, and if we post an author without a name, it will give us an error message. It will say the author name is required. So that's error handling working accurately. So now we have posted an author, we'll get the authors, and this is the list of authors which we included. ID 1 and 2 are the static data which I have included, and ID 3 is the new data which we posted just now, and we'll get the author by the ID of ID 3, and it is shown the author we just posted. Also, when we include an author which is not existing to get from our API, it is shown the author with ID 30 is not found. which is the error handling working accurately. Also get books by author functionality. If you include any author's ID alongside to receive the books he has stored, so when we give the ID number 3, so it is receiving a null message. We haven't it's receiving an empty array because we haven't added an author, we haven't added a book relevant to the author we have just posted. So let's add an book which is relevant to the author. So let's add the author ID of 2, 3. Let's post book. The book is posted, and now let's get the books relevant to the author's ID. And now we receive the books which is posted for the relevant ID of the author. So now let's update our author. So now we have updated our author for an updated version, and now we can also delete our author. So this is giving an error message. We cannot delete author associated with books. So we cannot delete any author which is already existing alongside with a book. So therefore we have to delete the book first. So let's delete our book which is associated with the author. So now the book is deleted. We could delete the author as well. And now our author is deleted. When we include an author which is not already present, it gives away an error message which says author with ID 30 is not found, which is error handling doing its job. Then we head over to the customer resource package and we'll add a customer. So now we have added a customer. So also when it doesn't include the name and the email and post a customer, it's giving away an error message saying the name, email and password are required. So that's also working, and it's will head over to the get customers. And now we have the customer we just posted. These are the static customers I have added to testing. Now let's get the customer by ID. And we can get the customer by the ID as well. When we include a customer which is not existing, it's giving an error message that the customer with the ID which I have provided is not existing. So that's the error handling. And also when we update a customer, we give the updated version. And that's doing the updation as well. Now we could get the customer by ID and see if the customer is really updated. And now it is shown that the customer we just updated as below when we enter the ID. And now we could delete the customer. And now our customer is deleted, and when we get our customers, the customer with the ID number 3 is deleted. Now when we post a customer to delete which is not existing, it's actually saying an error message with the customer, the ID 300 is not found because we can't find any customers to delete. So now let's move on to the cart resource folder and we'll add a book. And now we are going to test the error handling for the out of stock exception. We are going to include the quantity which is more increased than the quantity provided for the book ID. So as you can see, the message is received, that is there is insufficient stock for the book ID of 2, and we'll include a sufficient stock, and it is provided accurately and the cart is made. And if you provide a book ID which is not existing, it's gonna say a message that the book with the ID 7 is not found. So therefore the error handling and the exception handling is working accurately. Now let's get the customer's cart. So it is showing the customer's cart for the customer ID of 2 accurately. Now let's update the quantity of the customer's cart. ID 2, and we'll give the quantity as 50. As you can see, now the customer ID who has the ID of 2 has the cart functionality updated into book ID 2 with a quantity of 15 books. So now the we'll get the customer's cart again to test out the update is done correctly, and we can see the updation is done accurately. So we could add some other books as well. That's 1 to 15, and the cart is posted accurately. And we could delete the cart items. So when we delete the item 1 which we just updated, so we might get the cart item deleted. So that's the cart resource functionality working correctly. And now we move on to the order resource. So now we move on to the order resource, and we are going to add an order for the customer which is the customer with the ID number 2 who already has an item in the cart. So we are going to add that to an order. So the customer ID 2 is done. 250. So now our order is placed and the order is created. And now when we post our order again with the same details, it shows that the order is already, it shows that the cart is empty, which is why that the already featured cart item has been placed as an order. Therefore the cart is empty. So we'll head over to the cart and let's retrieve the cart to see if the cart is empty from the order. So now as you can see, the cart is empty because the order has been placed. Now we'll get the orders for the customer. As you can see, there's a new order ID added for customer ID 2. So that's working accurately, and we can get a specific order for the customer. So we'll see order ID 3. Good, see order ID 3. So it retrieves the correct order ID, and when we placed our new order ID, and it's also outputted correctly. So these are my endpoints done for my coursework project, and thank you.